Hey there, mamas! Today I'm going to be doing a really simple pot holder. The kind that has the little pocket in the front. So what I've done is I've looked at some that I already had that were retail. And I've never made this before, but it's pretty self-explanatory. And they were about 8 inches. I made mine a little bigger. I didn't like how small the ones that I had were. So I've just decided to use pieces that I have around the house. I don't have any cotton batting, and I'd much rather use cotton batting, but I had a little tiny bit of some poly batting. So I'm going to use that. Not as good for high heat, but, you know, it's fine. And then for lining the pocket, I decided to do some fleece that I had that matched. So I've got a little rectangle that's about 2 inches shorter than the main body square. And then has fleece on one side and just a quilting cotton on the other. And so that's going to be my little pocket. And then for the body, I have the one layer of the same fleece, the one layer of the poly batting, and then the cotton print on the top. And the first thing I'm going to do is kind of make these pieces separate. I'm going to quilt this top piece together, just probably with some diagonals. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this pocket. So let's just do some straight stitch diagonals first, and then we'll trim up the edges and round the corners. So now I am just going to clean up the edges a little bit and trim off the excess and around the corners. And if you weren't going to be doing the pocketed version, the mitten style ones, then you could stop here and do your trim. But I'm going to be doing the kind that has the little gripping pocket. Put your hand under and use it kind of as a mix between a pot holder and an oven mitt. So I'm going to do sort of a simplified quilt on this, and you can quilt in any pattern you want, obviously. You could do like a spiral or a zigzag. You could do whatever you wanted. we are going to put the trim across the top to finish the edge of just the pocket part. We're going to set the bottom piece aside again, and we are going to take some of our little bias tape that we made. And this is just 2-inch right here. And I'm just going to trim it down, make sure that it's long enough for my purposes. And I'm just going to use a straight stitch and sew that down to the top of my little pocket. The retail pot holder that I have that I was using, instead of having the loop to hang from on the corner, it had it in the middle. It was kind of interesting to have it in the middle. So you decide which corner, or if in the middle you want to have your little hanging loop. And then, like say it's going to be on this corner, I start my guide down the edge near it. And just work that all the way around. Now that we've gotten to this last corner, we've got our tail that's going to be our hanging loop. And I am just going to push that tight against the edge there, and then sew right off the edge to make that little finished bit there. So I've got it just at the corner. Make sure that it's tucked well. I don't want to bulk out that corner too much. So I'm going to go just beyond. And now I'm just going to sew right off it all the way to the end. And now I'm going to take that little bit and I'm going to fold it down. I'm going to loop it back under or over, it doesn't matter either way. And then I'm going to put this last bit of the trim right over it to finish it off. So there's my little loop. Just going to press it in. Pull this last bit over it for the corner and clip it off. Then I'm going to fold and finish that final edge. And then I'm going to sew that last corner. There's your little quilted back, your pocketed front, your hanging loop. It's not perfect, but you know, it'll work. You could make matching kitchen towels, you could make a matching apron, you could do it however you want to do it. You could have your kids each make one with their own favorite pattern, their own favorite fabric. You can just use scraps that you have laying around. There you go. There's your little pocketed pot holder. Happy sewing!